Folks, my name is Joe Biden, and I'm here because my friend Abby Finkenauer asked me to be here. She's the best. She's the best. I tell you what, I wondered why anyone would vote for me as a 29-year-old kid from the United States Senate to win. Watching Abby, I know why they're going to vote for her. I still don't know why they're going to vote for me. Folks, 3 times this past week, the forces of hate and terror have descended on the American political scene, going after people for their political beliefs, the color of their skin, or their religion. A series of explosive devices were mailed to several of us in the Democratic Party who held high public office. In addition to that, cold-blooded murder of 2 African-American citizens in a supermarket in Kentucky. And the worst anti-Semitic hate crime in our nation's history, the massacre of 11 Jewish worshipers in a synagogue I know well in Pittsburgh and 2 of my close friends attended. Folks, we need to recognize that words matter. Yeah! Enemies. They are our opponents. The press is not the enemy of the people. Democrats and Republicans, independents, we are Americans. America is so much better than this. We are so much better than this. I know that sometimes it feels like these days, like anger and hatred and viciousness are overwhelming us. But look, and it's our leaders who need to set the tone and dial down the temperature, restore some dignity to our national dialogue. But it's also the American people. And each one of us has the power to change the tone of our discourse in our lives. I really mean it. This is, my mom used to say, character is made up of 1,000 little things. Not one big thing. The way we interact with people, the way we treat each other, the way we hold a door for someone, the way we thank the guy who cleaned the sewer during the storm to make sure our basement didn't flood. 1,000 little things. We can and will overcome this moment together by being our best version of ourselves, and we know we can do it. The version of America that I see as I travel this country, America that's worthy of being called that shining city in the hill like the rest of the world looked at us in the past. You know, I've campaigned for a lot of folks this year. And more than anything else, I've seen one thing. Today, more than ever, the American people are desperately, Democrats and Republicans and Independents, they're looking for people with character. They're looking for authenticity. They're looking for someone who never belittles the other guy. Who treats everyone like my dad did with dignity and respect. They're looking for people to tell the truth. And I'm here because you have 2 of those people right here. Actually 3. Your candidate for governor, lieutenant governor, and Congress, 4 decades. 4 decades. Fred's right Charles was on the forefront of everything that's good about Iowa. You heard Fred and Charlotte were taken hostages by hijackers in a plant in Pakistan. There's nothing like seeing the possibility of your own demise to make you focus on the future. Fred's parents even got on the next plane to Germany and not know where they're going to meet their son or his casket. And after 13 long days looking at the barrel of the gun, Fred was finally released. And folks, like many of you have been through very difficult times. You know, those of us who hold public office, they think we're the only ones who went through it. My God, how many of you, raise your hand if you lost someone to cancer or someone you love? Just look around. We're tough people. And by the way, parenthetically, I want to thank you all. Because so many of you were so decent to my son. Literally hundreds and hundreds of Iowans wrote beautiful letters to me about my boy. Those of you who went through it, you know how much it means. How much it means for someone you. My dad used to have an expression, he'd say, you know your success as a parent when you look at your child and realize they turned out better than you. You all get it. You can understand how your gubernatorial candidate's experience inspired him, getting a second chance on life to dedicate himself to something bigger. That's kind of the American thing, you know? No, there's some things that are bigger than just you. And yet one other thing, Fred didn't waste his time on what's petty and small. He knows this matters. He's got his priorities right. And he will make all the difference as governor. When he walked backstage, I grabbed him and said, thank you for pointing out what will be the things that will make a difference in people's lives, the quality of their lives. Just some sense of certainty. I was reminded the first time I came out here, I asked to campaign for a guy that you might not remember, Dick Clark. You guys were rated number one in the nation in education. Number one. We all back east had to take the Iowa test. They give an exam called the Iowa test.
Just basic skill, right?
And folks, healthcare matters.
Yeah.
Fixing the medical mess in Iowa matters. Overcoming the stigma of seeking health matters. I pointed out to Fred, I carry in my pocket my schedule, but on my schedule, you can't see it from here, I showed Fred, there's a black box every single day on my schedule. I have my staff early in the morning before 6 o'clock call the Pentagon to tell me exactly how many fallen angels have died in Afghanistan and Iraq. Because every single one of them left behind a community. I hate it when people say roughly 6,800. It's 6,841. The number of people wounded, 52,727. But here's the deal, a lot of you served like my son did. A lot of you served. But here's the deal, it's not on here, but you don't have an exact number. There's roughly 300,000 warriors coming home suffering from post-traumatic syndrome and traumatic brain injury. We're roughly 73,000 psychiatric nurses short in America. Fred's never run for office before, but he spent a whole life creating jobs in small business and understanding human nature. Barack always kids me because they all politics is personal. It's all the logical extension of human nature. And you can see his judgment. And I'm not being solicitous when I say his pick or read it as a running man. A teacher, a farmer, a terrific state senator. And I want to talk about advocacy. You know, I understand that because I came from the same kind of home. I came from the same kind of place like most of you did. Growing up, believing that there wasn't a damn thing I couldn't do because that's what my parents told me. Not a thing. No, not a joke. A grandfather would say, look at me, Joey. Look at me. I used to stutter really badly. Don't let it define you. You can be whatever you want to be. grandfather was a firefighter in Dubuque who didn't run away from trouble, ran into trouble. And you heard her say her dad worked 16-hour shift as a union pipe fitter in Iowa. Her mom was secretary. You all know the story. It's an Iowa story. It's a story of the vast majority of people you know. She comes from really good stock. But I tell you what, she's tough. She's honorable.
Yeah.
She's serious. And she's very authentic. Take it from me, when you get elected at a very young age, you have a lot to prove. And she's proved herself over and over again, just in the few years she's been engaged. And boy, we need more women and men of character, like Fred and Abby, because what they really do have, they have character. They're decent, honorable. Folks, I think we all know in our gut, there's something different about this election. For real.
Yes, there is.
Bigger than politics as usual. Unlike any other country in the world, America's an idea. We're unique in the world. We're an idea. And you cannot define an American in any terms other than the ideals we share together. You can't define an American based on ethnicity, religion, race, background. You literally can't. Try it. But it's our commitment to a certain set of ideals that are held in common by all of us. We don't always live up to it. We've never given up on it. Sounds corny, but we hold these truths self-evident. That all men are created equal, endowed by their Creator. We've never met it all. We've never walked away from it. Common values, like treating people with decency, showing respect to everyone, no matter what their background, giving hate no safe harbor, leaving no one behind. As I said with regard to your new governor, soon to be, committing to something bigger than themselves. The conservative columnist David Brooks says there are many folks on the alt-right who are attacking these values. And he says, quote, they're being dissolved so that they can make room for their individual selfishness.
Yeah.
Folks, I respect my Republicans opponents. We noticed every time our administration would have a dilemma in the House or the Senate, I'd get sent up to the House and the Senate. It's because everyone misled them, reminded them all the years I was there, and I respect them. They have a different point of view. I respect it, though. But folks, they knew, although we disagreed significantly, if we didn't engage in personal invective, if we didn't turn this into questioning motive, we could get through the most difficult times we had to get through. But it seems lately that many of my Republican colleagues, and there's still a lot of friends I have in the Senate and the House, in both parties, but our Republican colleagues seem to have lost their nerve. They're spending more time protecting the White House and choosing party over country than any time before. It's not acceptable, it's understandable because of the gerrymandering that's taking place. And because of unlimited spending. I call someone and say, why did you do such and such? You know better. And they say, well, what will happen is if I do such and such, I give them a word. These are the conversations I still have. If I do such and such, the Koch brothers will come in with $5–10 million into my race. And I'll lose. I can't do it, Joe. And I ask them, I say, why the hell would you want a job? Not a joke. Want a job where you had to get up in the morning and do something you didn't believe. You can do a lot better doing something else.
Yeah. That's what we want.
This is I said, and I believe it now, and I believed it then, that we're in the battle for the soul of America now. Hate is on the march in America. We watch white supremacists and neo-Nazis crawl out from under rocks, carrying torches, coming out of fields of light, chanting the same hateful bile that was chanted in the streets of Nuremberg, Munich, Berlin in the 30s. The same exact language, the anti-Semitic language. And when that hatred is given space to fester, when it is distorted, worldview is fueled online, when the alt-right and guys like Stephen King, here's the deal, when they declared a moral equivalence between those guys and people opposing them. We've never done that before in America. We've never assigned a moral equivalence among our leaders to say that these white supremacists, the KKK, all of these folks, as well as these neo-Nazis, oh, there's some good people there too. What the hell's happening to us? And this hate will continue to grow. Our children are listening and they're watching. And according to the recent study by the American Psychological Association, stress in America, reported for what they call Generation Z, people 15 to 21 years old, is reported the worst mental health of any generation surveyed. Our children are listening. 27% rated for mental health fear or poor. The single greatest fear of people between the ages of 15 and 25 is being shot in school. That's a fact. Silence is complicity. Well, folks, we will not be silent. We will not. We must speak out. And those who are Republican now will speak out as well. This has to stop. It has to stop. You know, there used to be a basic bargain in America. The Democrats and Republicans signed up to, subscribed to. That bargain was the one that built the middle class that Abby talks about. That bargain was if you contribute to the well-being of the enterprise you work with, you got to share in the benefits. Well, that bargain's been broken, folks. And the middle class isn't a number, it's a value set. It's about being able to own your home, not have to rent it. Being able to send your kid to a park and know them to home safely. Being able to send them to a high school that if they do well, they'll be able to go on beyond high school. And you'll figure out somehow to get the money to get them there. It's about being able to take home your geriatric mom after dad dies and hope your children never have to take care of you. It's just about a little bit of peace of mind. A little bit of peace of mind. The middle class is shrinking in America. We're no longer the wealthiest. Fewer than 50% say they belong to it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is changing. My dad used to say after everything died and the coal died and scrambled, and listen to Brock, you'd think I climbed out of a coal mine with a lunch bucket. My dad was a gentleman, well-read man, a high school educated guy, white-collar worker, but there were no jobs in Scranton in the mid-50s. So he took us to my grandpa. He made the longest walk any parent has to make up a short flight of stairs to tell their kid, you can't go back to school now. You can't play in that ball club, honey. Daddy doesn't have a job. I'm going to go home with grandpa. Well, he took a year. Came home every weekend. We moved to Delaware, finally got a place. We were able to bring us all down. It was a nice place. They finally ended up getting a good job about 5 years later. But he used to always say the following. When anyone loses a job, like many of you, there was a recession, someone in our neighborhood, someone at our kitchen table, somebody in our family got laid off somewhere along the line. And he'd say, Joe, remember, a job, I give you my word as a Bible is. He'd say, Joe, remember, a job is about a lot more than a paycheck. It's about your dignity. It's about respect. It's about your place in the community. And then he'd say, Joe, it's about being able to look at a child in the eye and say, honey, it's going to be okay. Think how many people are out there compliment means I'm not sophisticated. But I tell you what, I know what built this country. Ordinary people, given half a chance, have never, ever let the country down. So we got a simple job as Democrats this time out. And I've been in 26 states, I think. I've been through 54 candidates. It's a simple job everywhere, whether I'm in North Dakota or I'm down in Alabama or I'm here. Our job is to restore dignity to the political discourse and restore the basic bargain in America. And it starts We've seen what your governor here has done and what the legislature has done to organize labor. But did you know that 40% of the workers in America will have to, at some point in their career, have to sign a non-compete clause? It used to be, it's changed in Jimmy John's, you're making a sandwich. You have to sign a non-compete clause that you won't walk to the next town and get 15 cents more working for McDonald's or for Burger King. What's that all about? Suppressing wages. How about there's no rational for it. Did anyone ever think that we in the United States of America would decide that you're not entitled to overtime? Hourly workers are entitled to overtime, except all the reclassification that's going on. If you work in a supermarket and you direct the person to bring the cart that has the ragu spaghetti to put on the shelf and make you a manager. Guess what? You don't get overtime. You know what that cost hourly workers last year? $1.6 billion. What's that all about? Other than suppressing wages so the wealthy can do better. That's right. Look, education. Does anyone think we can possibly make it in the 21st century without something beyond high school education? Stay middle class? No way. Not a joke. President Obama used to love, if you watch the State of the Union message, he turned to say, and Joe is going to do the following. The Recovery Act, which is $865 billion, said, Joe is going to do the Recovery Act. The moonshot, Joe is going to be the He never would tell me what he was going to do. But the good thing he did do, he's one of my best friends, personal best friends. All those means are accurate. He made the first friendship first, not me. Well, he asked me to do a study 5 years ago on, because when he gave me this thing, he gave me presidential power. I could hire or fire. He gave me the authority to do whatever needed to be done, because we trusted each other. And he gave me an assignment to find out what the jobs of the 21st century would be. And I spent a year going to outside experts as well as our internal economists and the rest. By 2020, a minimum of 6 out of 10 jobs in America require something more than a high school degree. Look what Republicans are doing, both in the United States Congress, at the White House, your state legislature, and the governors. Folks, the ultimate equalizer is in education.
Oh, yeah.
Making sure that pre-existing conditions are covered. Lie. Simple, unadulterated lie. They vote against the Affordable Care Act, which strikes everything. But what they don't even understand, even if they wanted to do it independently, you need everybody in the deal for to be able to take care of it. 20 Republican attorneys general signed an amicus brief to the federal court saying it's unconstitutional insurance companies to cover pre-existing conditions. Thousands upon thousands of Iowans have pre-existing conditions. What are they doing, man? And look, millions of Americans now understand what the Affordable Care Act really meant. It means to save lives. It's gone from there to bring a peace of mind, so you don't stare at the ceiling and think that I get sick. My wife and my husband and the kids, it means everything. Folks, the only candidates in this race who are actually going to protect pre-existing conditions are Fred Hubbell and Finkenauer. I was asked to lead the House bill, all the Democrats in the House to stand on the steps of the Capitol and make the case against repealing the Affordable Care Act. And I said something then that even some of my Democratic colleagues weren't sure about. I said, these guys have another objective. They've never supported Medicare. They've never supported Medicaid. And they've never supported a robust Social Security program. And look what they did. They created, as Abby pointed out, a $1.9 trillion additional national debt that cannot be sustained. And now what are they saying? In order to deal with the national debt the Democrats created, we have got to cut health care. The Senate, the House Budget Committee Chairman, and the House of Representatives, Republican, has already introduced a bill to cut, I think the number is $560 billion in Medicare. Over $500 billion. Mitch McConnell, the leader of the Senate, said, we now have to go out and reduce significantly Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid.
No,
absolutely not.
Stand the abuse of power. Whether it's a man raising his hand to murder a child, or a corporation taking advantage because they have the power, or a government oppressing the people. We stand for giving all Americans a fighting chance. But to do it, we have to reset the moral compass of this nation. Now, I'm always known as an optimist, but the truth is, we're better positioned today in the world, the unique nation in the world, to own the 21st century. None of this is beyond our power. I'm so sick and tired of Democrats and Republicans walking around their heads down like, woe is me, what are we going to do? Damn it. We have the world's largest economy. We're the wealthiest nation in the world. We're energy independent. We have the strongest military in human history. We have more fine research universities in America than all the rest of the world combined. And our workers are our most productive in the world, 3 times as productive as those in Asia. We're the most agile venture capitalists in the world. No other nation in the world can match us. When I hear this about China, I know Xi Jinping better than any world leader based on time spent with him. Roughly 25 hours. He would change places in a heartbeat with America. Folks, they don't have enough replacement workers because of their one-child policy. By the middle of this next decade, they are going to have more people retired than working. They can't keep up because they're xenophobic and won't let anybody else in. They not only need energy, they have over $500 billion program to figure out how to turn their major rivers in another direction so people have drinking water, which they do not have. You'll understand this in Iowa, over 40%. The estimates go from 30 to 45% of their land is polluted with cadmium. It can't produce anything. Look on the television, or if you ever visited Beijing, you see anybody walking around without a mask on their face? They die of lung cancer 4 times the rate we do. In the next decade, they're going to have more cases of cancer overall than the rest of the world combined. Folks, competition? Remember who the hell we are.